Let's go get Mama's alcohol. We'll be right back.
Generally in American history, when we intervene in another country, whether true or not, we come up with a high-minded pretense. Liberating the people, spreading democracy, introducing baseball to the Japanese. They complained at first, but it's totally worth it. On what moral foundation will this conflict be framed?
We're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil. We're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be.
Seems a little on the nose. Oil, precious commodity, certainly, but not the reason a country formed 250 years ago on the ideas of liberty and self-determination would go into a country and snatch a man at night. There must be a slightly more noble pretense.
We're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground.
We need total access. We need access to the oil.
Sir, again, I see where we're going here. Do you mind just reframing that? I'm not quite clear on the high-minded principle behind this.
In other words, we'll be selling oil.
Is this your first war? I mean, what the f***? Generally in American history, when we intervene in another country, whether true or not, we come up with a high-minded pretense. Liberating the people.
Ooh. Hey, did you notice the stream just shut off? The stream just shut down. Did you guys see that? Jazz, did you see the stream just cut off? Fucking AI. It just shut off. It's just like, it just, it's like my screen, the app just crashed. I went to turn it on and I couldn't. I had to start a new stream. Isn't that crazy? AI, dude. Entangle. It's raining. Got the rain here now. It's just this. That's the control they're getting. AI is learning. Probably want to get my attention. Probably because I wasn't. Why is this not playing?
Generally in American history, when we intervene in another country, whether true or not,
doesn't work out good.
We come up with a high-minded pretense.
Yeah.
Liberating the people, democracy, introducing baseball to the Japanese. They complained at first, but it's totally worth it. On what moral foundation will this conflict be framed?
We're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil. We're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be.
Seems a little on the nose. Oil, precious commodity, certainly, but not the reason a country formed 250 years ago on the ideas of liberty and self-determination would go into a country and snatch a man at night. There must be a slightly more noble pretense.
We're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground.
We need total access. We need access to the oil.
Sir, again, I see where we're going here. Do you mind just reframing that? I'm not quite clear on the high-minded principle behind this.
In other words, we'll be selling oil.
It's the thing is they're stealing oil. They're not selling. This oil's already, there's already buyers contracts called China on that. It's crazy. Yeah. It's Epstein files. It's just to get rid of it. It's Epstein files. Venezuela files. The Venezuela files. That's what it is now. The Venezuela files. Look, no one's talking about Epstein files right now.
January 6, 2026, here's the latest news. France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, the United Kingdom, and Denmark released a joint statement today condemning the United States' threats towards Greenland, noting, quote, Greenland belongs to its people. It is for Denmark and Greenland and them only to decide on matters concerning Denmark and Greenland. Republican Representative Doug LaMalfa of California has passed away at age 65. This means that the House will now be 218 Republicans to 213 Democrats, which is just a 2-vote margin. With Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation from Congress last night and a special election in Texas on January 31st, which will put another Democrat in office, Mike Johnson's House majority will soon be virtually non-existent. Meanwhile, another Republican 80-year-old Indiana Representative Jim Baird is now in the hospital following a car crash. Abortion remains legal in Wyoming. The state Supreme Court just struck down the state's abortion ban, including the U.S.'s first ban on abortion pills. Trump delivered a long speech to House Republicans today where he whined about their dwindling popularity, saying, quote, explain to me what the hell is going on with the mind of the public because we have the right policy. He also joked about canceling elections, complained about Maduro dancing, and warned that if Republicans lose the midterms, he will be impeached. MS Now's Joe Scarborough said that Trump told him the difference between Venezuela and the invasion of Iraq is that with Venezuela, the U.S. is going to take the oil. And former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn wrote a powerful piece reflecting on the January 6th insurrection and the GOP's attempt to rewrite history on the Midas Plus Substack. Check it out now at MidasPlus.com. Spread the word and follow for more.
5 years ago, on January 6th, I was serving in the House of Representatives when this building behind me was attacked in an insurrection designed to overturn the results of a free and fair election. Let me walk you through just a bit of what it was like that day. These are the center doors to the House chamber. I would have been just on the other side of these doors, probably about 10 or 15 feet away, when attackers breaking into this floor, or trying to. You might remember images of members in Capitol Police pushing heavy objects to block the doors. That was taking place just behind me. I was serving as one of the House managers that day. Speaker Pelosi had asked me and 3 other House colleagues to lead the fight against efforts to decertify the electors. So I was speaking on the House floor. I wasn't really paying attention to what was happening outside the building until Capitol Police came and escorted the Speaker of the House quickly away from presiding, and came back and got Steny Hoyer, our number 2, and took him quickly away. And then it was clear that something really serious of that was happening. It wasn't long after that, Capitol Police came back onto the House floor to tell us we needed to get out, and we needed to get out now. That there were rioters in the building. We had to get gas masks out from under our seats and prepare to deploy them or get down on the ground. And ultimately, there was an escape route, and we needed to get out.
Because this is WPS.
Approximately 5 months after I admitted to my wife that I had had an affair with another man and that I am gay, the time for the birth of our daughter was finally here. The man with whom I had had the affair, Matt, who is also an OBGYN, was set to perform the delivery all at my wife's request.
Yeah. I hope that clears that up. That, my friend, is WPS. And if it wasn't clear to you, look at it again. Because this is WPS.
Approximately 5 months after I admitted to my wife that I had had an affair with another man and that I am gay, the time for the birth of our daughter was finally here.
Republican.
The man with whom I
MAGA.
had the affair, Matt, who is also an OBGYN, was set to perform the delivery
Look,
all
MAGA.
at my wife's request.
Yeah. I hope that clears that up.
What is PWA?
That, my friend, is WPS.
WPS.
And if it wasn't clear to you, look at it again.
What's WPS?
Because this is WPS.
What's WPS stand
Approximately
for?
5 months after I admitted to my wife that I had had an affair with another man and I am gay, the time for the birth of our daughter was finally here.
I remember
PS.
Bill wanted to get to know this 20-year-old looks max or clavicular in the biblical sense. Why else would you randomly invite a 20-year-old streamer to your holiday party? Clavicular claims he's now blacklisted from future Teal events after declining the invite and comparing Peter to Diddy. Presumably, he'd heard what happened to Peter's ex, Jeff Thomas, after Peter separated Jeff from his friends and family. Teal wanted to get to know this 20-year-old looks max or clavicular in the biblical sense. Why else would you randomly invite a 20-year-old streamer to your holiday party? Clavicular claims he's now blacklisted from future Teal events after declining the invite and comparing Peter to Diddy. Presumably, he'd heard what happened to Peter's ex, Jeff Thomas, after Peter separated Jeff from his friends and family.
Why does MAGA have so many in-the-closet gay fuck turds, you know? Like Peter Thiel and they're all there. It's like woke initiative. I don't know.
3 things we're entitled to the moment we hit senior status. First, travel discounts. Airlines, hotels, even...
New at 4, a former detention officer at the South Louisiana ICE Processing Center in Basilio pleaded guilty to having relations with a detainee. 56-year-old David Corvell pleaded guilty to 1 count of abuse of a person in federal custody. Prosecutors Corvell began a personal relationship with a Nicaraguan detainee and had with the detainee multiple times while she was under his authority. Corvell could face up to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000.
That's what happens.
New at 4, a former detention officer at the South Louisiana ICE Processing Center in Basilio pleaded guilty to having relations with a detainee. 56-year-old David Corvell pleaded guilty to 1 count of...
So let me tell you how a Republican attack on Obama just ensured that abortion remains legal in Wyoming. This may be one of the biggest political own goals in modern history. So today, the Wyoming Supreme Court struck down the GOP-backed abortion ban. The law outlawed abortion in nearly all cases, except when a woman's life was in danger or in cases of rape or incest. And it also banned abortion pills. But here's where it gets wild. Back in 2012, furious about the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, Republican lawmakers pushed a constitutional amendment guaranteeing that competent adults have the right to make their own healthcare decisions. Voters approved it. The amendment didn't actually stop Obamacare in any way because Obamacare didn't do that. But the amendment stayed on the books. And so flash forward to now, that Republican-backed amendment is exactly what the Wyoming Supreme Court used to strike down the state's abortion ban. The court ruled that even though the amendment was not written with abortion in mind, the language is clear, and it is not the role of the judiciary to add words or carve out exceptions that don't exist in the Constitution. In other words, Republicans wrote a broad healthcare freedom amendment to spite Obama, and they accidentally protected abortion rights instead.
That is crazy.
They tried to block healthcare access in 2012.
They're dumb fucks.
Expanding it.
Yeah, MAGA are just dumb. They're like the biggest fucking dumb fucks on the planet. They can't even write. They're like, oh, let's write this to fuck over Obamacare, right? Like Avery. God bless you. Look at this. Undao do is ADAO. Undao do. I am Jesus, Avery. I am Jesus. Of course I love myself. And so are you.
Sorry.
You're Jesus too.
Is Donald Trump going to use Nicolas Maduro, try to obtain some sort of false confession or some sort of plea deal where he admits that Venezuela was involved with election interference in 2020? I wouldn't think that that would be on the agenda, except a senior Department of Justice official in Ed Martin, who's head of the Weaponization Committee under Pam Bondi, posted just such a concept hours before Maduro was about to be arraigned in New York today. And if it was anybody but Ed Martin, I would think, oh, this is a crackpot QAnon theory. But let me remind everybody, or tell you for the first time, that one of the conspiracy theories about the big lie and the election interference argument based on conspiracy.
Venezuela. Let's take this upstairs. Why would Jesus, what Christian faith would Jesus pick? Why would Jesus pick any Christian? Think about it, Avery. Which one? If Jesus came back, which Christian faith would Jesus say I'm part of? Which one, Avery? Avery, which one? Humor me here. I want to know which one. Would he pick Catholic? Would he pick some fundamentalist group? Which one, Avery? Which Christian group? Would he go Catholic? Which one? Protestant? Which one? Which one would he pick? Avery? Which one? Which one would he pick? He wouldn't pick any of them, dude. He wouldn't pick any Catholic faith because you've all let him down. He'd pick the atheists, undoubtedly. If he came back, what would he come back as? Christ would come back as an atheist, buddy. An atheist. Because now he understands what the quantum artifact is. He understands that he didn't have the vocabulary 3,000 years ago. There you go, mama. Hey, does that? Eat. Finish that. Finish that. No, I don't care. Finish it. Put it, just shove it in your mouth. Just put it in your mouth. Try and cook this damn thing. I don't know. I'll be back down, clean up. Well, guys, I'm going to take a power nap. I'll be back. Good night. I'll be back. Lay down. Watch, see what show's on. Take a power nap. Look, I put that up there. Cleaned up this area here. I got filter here. I got a filter here. Double air filter. Up in here. Right in here. I'll get all the dust. I don't want any dust in my room. All right, good night.